Hi. Mindfulness, or bodyfulness. Now, I've not been sleeping brilliantly recently because there's been a lot of things going on in my life. And I also recognize that I have not been doing the things that I know could help me, such as movement, yoga, tai chi, swimming. And I'm aware that if I did do them, they would help me. Everybody has their own different ways of managing stress. The thing about those activities is that they require me to breathe. Breathe with movement. And that can be one aspect of mindfulness. But the thing is, if we talk about mindfulness, we're talking about something that seems to only happen in the brain or from the neck up. Whereas if we actually bring our bodies into it and our breath, and if we're curious, and if we don't judge ourselves about the sensations we're feeling, that can help in a big way. Eckhart Tolle, in his book, I think it's called The Power of Now, says that we humans have a habit of living in the past or worrying about the future. And what we need to do to be truly contented, or at least stop ourselves from suffering, is to live in the now. So if we pay attention to the sensations in our bodies, that would bring mindfulness down from our heads into our whole being. We'd give ourselves time to pay attention to what is going on for us in that specific moment. You see, we only get one body. Our body is our home, and whether we like it or not, the shape of it, the weight of it, it doesn't matter. It's the only one we've got. And it's the one that can help us to live our best lives. Being bodyful is about taking our whole self, not just our mind, but our whole self into account. It is about how we move through the world, how we present ourselves to the world. If we're the kind of person who's constantly hunched over an iPhone, we will get, tensions in the neck and the shoulders, and also in the lower back, and just say, I've got a headache, I've got neck ache, but not actually think about what we did to get ourselves into that position. So there is also loads of research about how our bodies store our emotions. So if we've been traumatized or experienced a car accident or somebody shouting at us for no reason or abuse or whatever, our body can hold the memory of that, and that comes up as physical sensations in the body. There's a stream of psychotherapy which is called somatic psychotherapy, and that is about tuning into the messages your body is giving you, because your body's talking to you all the time, but quite often we don't pay attention. We actually take our bodies for granted a lot of the time, especially if there's nothing wrong. But being mindful, being bodyful, is bringing awareness about how we move through the world, how we relate to other people with our bodies and with ourselves and with our voices. And also, we need to pay attention too to the sensations we get in our gut. The gut is supposed to be the second brain. And so therefore, feed your gut healthy foods. And your gut will probably spend more time talking to you about things that you can access rather than be churning around thinking, I don't like what I've just been fed. The human body is actually such a wonderful thing. And our bodies are a natural anchor for our mindfulness. So if we pay attention to it, our body is always in the present. For instance, something as simple as drinking water can be a whole mindful experience when we feel the weight of the glass and when we look, I've got lemon bits in this, and when we look at the texture of the lemon that's floating in the water and the colour of the water, and when we smell and we just take our time to savour it, I can actually feel my salivary glands just watering ever so slightly. So if we did things like pay attention to our food when it's on our plate, before we even think about picking up our knife and fork or spoon and eating, if we stand under the shower and feel how the water is hitting our bodies, if we wash up and feel the water and the bubbles and smell and the slickness of whatever we're cleaning up, all of those things are mindful and are bringing us into the present. And when we're present, life takes on so much more texture and is so much more interesting. So even something as simple as walking. The other day I watched, I think it was Liam, talking about curiosity. When we're bodyful, when we're curious about what's going on in our bodies and what our body is trying to tell us, it opens up a whole realm that we don't necessarily tune into regularly. And it's so fascinating. Of course, we're not going to do it all the time, but some of the time. And that will stop us from living in yesterday or today. That will stop us from living in yesterday or tomorrow and only live in today. Let's just do a body scan. Mindfulness, if we are aware of how our bodies are in space, if we use our breath to just become centered and calm, that is such an amazing experience. So I tell you what, let's just do something. Find a way to sit comfortably, whatever's comfortable for you, and notice how that feels. Notice how your feet are, whatever they're resting on. And then just let your attention rise. Be aware of how your body is in contact with whatever you're sitting on. Notice the texture and the temperature and the pressure in parts of you that's touching the floor, the chair, how your clothes feel against your body. If you're somewhere that you can feel a breeze, feel the internal sensations now. Is there parts of your body that is tightening or relaxing, pressure, fatigue, heat, cold, aching, tingling. No judgment, just curiosity. And be aware that you can feel sensations, and some of those might be pleasant, and some of those might be unpleasant. But be curious about why you feel pleasant or unpleasant. Just be aware of those preferences without judging them, and then let them go. If you find your mind wandering and you're thinking and your brain is going wherever your mind is choosing to go, because our minds are naturally constantly scanning for things, because our minds are there to protect us, just allow yourself to come back to maybe the sensation of how you feel sitting in this particular moment. Go through the pressure of the seat or your clothing, or even simply rest your mind on the breath. Feel your inhale and your chest rising, and your belly may be moving too, and your exhale. And just rest, breathing in and breathing out. And when you're ready, increase your inhale, and then let everything go with an exhale. If you've allowed your eyes to close, open them. And go ahead and enjoy the rest of your day.